kind of world do we live in where a normal, regular girl cannot find just a regular guy out here to date? Because these guys don't want a real woman. They want a fantasy. They want to live in this fake fantasy world. They would rather jack off to some screen, to some robot, rather than actually deal with a real human being and what comes with that. You know why? Because it's easier.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and on today's episode, we have a funny one for you here today. We have a series of modern women who are crying, having meltdowns, they're getting upset because men are walking away from them, okay? Men are no longer putting up with the nonsense, they're not asking these women out, they're not doing things for these women, and of course, what does that result in? Except tears, right, from grown adult women on TikTok. So without further ado, let's jump in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
What kind of world do we live in where a normal, regular girl cannot find just a regular guy out here to date? Because these guys don't want a real woman. They want a fantasy. They want to live in this fake fantasy world. They would rather jack off to some screen, to some robot, rather than actually deal with a real human being and what comes with that. You know why? Because it's easier.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it here, and I'm going to explain why this woman is a clown. The reason why she's a clown, guys, is because this woman could date a man. She could date a guy, but he would be average. Right? Women like this, they say that there are no good men and that men don't want to date them. But what it really means is Chad won't date them, okay? A very attractive guy, the man that they really want, will not date them. This is the kind of woman, guys, that thinks that every dude out here is making six figures and he's 6 feet tall and he should just give her attention. The average man is completely invisible to a woman like this. Okay, and she says normal girl, guys, but this woman is like clearly absolutely bonkers, right? Let's continue.
And I am done. I'm done.
Let's unpack this, shall we? Because it's about time someone laid it out plainly without sugarcoating. This modern dating dilemma. Feminism lied to women about it. Feminism promised women that they could hop from one partner to the next with reckless abandon, and there would always be a committed, loving man waiting at the end of that rainbow. Sorry, ladies, but reality doesn't work that way. This really does show the delusion in today's dating landscape. A normal, regular girl can't find an average guy to date? Seriously, I'm not one to kick someone when they're already down, but come on. The dating scene might be challenging for everyone, but asserting that it's some monumental task for an average woman to find a counterpart in an average guy is just off base. But here's where the irony lies. Women often condemn men for having dating standards. If a man expresses a desire for a woman who hasn't had numerous partners, he's immediately labeled insecure or toxic. Pro tip for the ladies: if a man sets boundaries and standards in a relationship, it usually means he sees long-term potential with you. But then again, why value a man's feelings when we can just demonize him, right? Let's put the cards on the table. For the typical guy, dating is a minefield that's treacherous and filled with rejections. You think you're tired of the game? Try stepping into the shoes of the average Joe for a moment. From his perspective, the dating landscape might seem like a barren wasteland. But you wouldn't know about that, would you? I've seen this script played out time and again. A woman chases the bad boy or some emotionally unavailable archetype, and then when reality bites, suddenly, it's the fault of the entire male species. How about taking a step back and evaluating your choices? Let's get real. There are plenty of average guys out there who would genuinely value a meaningful relationship with an average woman. But the catch? They're often overlooked or relegated to the friend zone. Consider the statistics. The median guy is about 5'9" and earns a decent average salary. Sure, some women might scoff at these figures with their towering expectations of a 6-foot-tall millionaire, and if that's your standard, go chase it. But don't come crying when reality doesn't align with your fantasy. Let's take a look at some comments. These women are undateable, absolutely insufferable. Accountability is their kryptonite. They want to live in some fantasy world. That's some of the hardest projection I've seen in a while.
It's actually kind of rare, guys, that you will see comments like this, where, you know, people are holding the woman accountable for what she's saying. Usually when women make these TikTok videos, what happens is everybody panders to her. They tell her that she's absolutely correct, that she's done nothing wrong, and that she's a queen, and her Prince Charming is around the corner. And, you know, don't date any of these broke men. That's why they don't treat you a particular way, right? And they'll start calling men insecure. So it's actually kind of rare that you find comment sections that are holding women accountable, particularly on TikTok, right? TikTok is a platform that is incredibly censored, and a very biased platform overall.
Is their kryptonite. They want to live in some fantasy world. That's some of the hardest projection I've seen in a while. Real women do not go on TikTok and film herself crying for a normal man who is not on TikTok. Cry me a river, ladies. You had your chance, now reap what you've sown. Women want 6'5" millionaires, and she talks about men wanting a fantasy? Remember, guys, she is crying and suffering for the top % of men. The vast majority of us are invisible to them. Make bad decisions and blame men for the bad outcomes seems to be the only playbook for decades. Shaking my head. Rather than deal with a real human being and what comes with that. What comes with that is largely negative for men.
I actually agree with this. I see so many of these videos, right, where people are like, wow, why is it that men check out? Why is it that men, you know, that they don't deal with modern women? Why is it that men don't get married? And all of this shaming language directed towards men. And the question is, okay, well, why have men decided not to engage with this crap? And the reason for that is because a lot of these women are not actually worth it for men. They're a net negative for the man's life in terms of risk, in terms of being a headache, in terms of being someone who, you know, men can actually see themselves having the rest of their life with. It's funny because this woman shames dudes for, you know, watching online women, shall we say. And let me just straight out come out and say here that, you know, online spicy content I think is a very bad thing for society. I think it's terrible for men. But the reason why a lot of guys gravitate towards this is because they don't have to put up with you. Okay? It's technically speaking, it's a lot safer for men to engage with spicy content online than it is to deal with you in the way that you go through life. Now, I'm not saying that that's the right thing. I don't think spicy content online is good for anybody, like I said. Particularly men, I think it's bad for us. But, you know, men do this because they don't necessarily want to even put up with you, which is saying something. It's a lot safer of an option for a guy.
Something tells me she was approached by regular guys, but in her eyes, they simply weren't good enough. Creeps. Her tears are BS. And did anyone else notice her shirt about narcissism? Oh, the irony. Look, I gave up on modern women and have been celibate since 2015, and I couldn't be happier. No stress, and I'm financially doing great. Now, with that being said, if I ever meet an old-fashioned and honorable lady who is willing to take care of the housework and my bedroom desires, I would gladly support her, but I don't believe such women exist anymore.
Please, 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 Walter. Please, 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 please.
Can you please stop acting like that?
I can't.
All right, calm down.
Please, please.
This woman needs to be kicked out of the car immediately. This is not even a grown woman, in my opinion. This is someone who is a downright child. I don't know why you would associate with someone like this, guys, but it is straight up embarrassing. I feel secondhand embarrassment whenever I see these grown adult women having full-on tantrums on TikTok, right? Recording ourselves crying, recording ourselves with piano music, losing our marbles over absolutely nothing. And then they, you know, a lot of them, this one's recorded of her, but a lot of them decide to then post that to the internet. I don't know how these people don't have any sense of being embarrassed over what's happening right now.
Please, 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 please,
I took you
You
back.
don't want to be with you and everybody else.
I don't know why this man would sit here and unironically take her. Why would you take this woman back into your life? Why is she even there in the first place? Okay, this is, and I can't stress this enough about these situations, right? These situations is that a lot of the times these women who are acting like this, they don't even care about the man, right? They just don't want to go back to working. A lot of the times the men are the ones providing for these women in relationships. So what these women see when they get broken up with or rejected is they don't only lose access to the man, but they lose access to the resources. That's why so many of these women, they get divorced, right? They ditch their husband, they end their whatever the case may be, and then they're crying. But notice how when they're crying about it, they don't seem to actually care about the man, right? It's all about what they want.
I want to stay away. Please take me back. Please take me back, please.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
Please take me back. Please take me back, please. Please.
Shut up!
A grown woman acting like a 2-year-old because she cheated. Wow, this generation is so awful. Another teary-eyed performance, hoping to score some sympathy points.
Wow, that's crazy. So not only is this woman just absolutely losing her mind in the car, but she's the one who did it to herself in the first place. She cheated on him, apparently. I don't know the full context of this clip, but I would totally be prepared to believe that this woman cheated on this guy simply by the fact that she has no ability to regulate herself whatsoever. These are the kinds of people you cannot get involved with them in your life. I mean, you can if you want, you know, if you like the pain, I guess. Why on earth would you get with these people? But these are the kinds of people that if you allow them into your lives, you can't trust them to make any sort of sensible decision. Okay, they're just going to make stupid decision after stupid decision. They're going to cheat on you. They're going to ditch you. They're going to be awful people, right? And it amazes me how there are still men out there who put up with this nonsense, right? Now, personally, I think men, you know, you can do whatever it is that you want to do in life. Hey, go out there, make your own decisions. But I don't think that this is a smart one. I really, really do not. Okay, and I think a lot of these dudes who are putting up with this kind of need to get roasted a bit. Because I think that men in general need to have a little bit more self-respect than to deal with nonsense like this.
Fellas, don't be fooled by the waterworks. It's not regret that's causing those tears, but the realization of what she stands to lose. Is she really upset about hurting the guy, or is she more concerned about kissing goodbye to the comfortable lifestyle he provided? There's a stark difference between regretting an action and regretting getting caught or facing the aftermath. Such emotional outbursts are often tactics employed to manipulate men and try to anchor them back into the relationship. It's less about him and more about the perks he brings. She's not crying for love, she's crying for the lifestyle. Guys, always remember to differentiate between genuine remorse and a performance aimed to keep the luxuries flowing. Don't get played. Let's have a look at some comments. It's so easy for them to lie on camera. Enjoy the consequences of your decisions and behavior. Bwahahahahahahahaha. Their decisions are coming back to bite them, and they don't like it. Accountability. She cheated, got found out, and now she goes into full tantrum mode to have her ex take her back? Even if she hadn't cheated, a woman disrespecting me that way in order to get what she wants is an automatic disqualifier. It's a shocking display of immaturity, irresponsibility, and a pathetic attempt at manipulation. I've had women act like this as well. I'm 45 now. Walk away, men. I'm glad I don't have to stress about this crazy shit. Lone wolf lifestyle, gentlemen. Just live a peaceful lone wolf lifestyle.
How long have you been with your man?
6 months.
How does he feel about you coming out dressed like, you know, how you are?
So it feels like a little bit of a pointed question, but he trusts me and I trust him, so...
Did you guys ever have a conversation beforehand?
Yes, no.
What'd you guys discuss?
It was more of like a, I'm going to do this, but I trust your input, so I'm going to let you know. But in the end of the day, it's like we are our own people, so I'm going to do what I think is best for myself and for our relationship.
Yeah, guys, you heard it here first. Going out to, you know, drink with random men, wearing Lord knows what, that's her best shot at having a healthy relationship. She's doing what she thinks is best for the relationship. Guys, I'm going to straight up say this. Do not, or at least I would not recommend, okay, you can do whatever it is that you like in life. Make your own decisions. My recommendation is that you never date women like this. Absolutely not. If a girl wants to go out there, she wants to be for the streets, she is more than welcome. But personally, I will not be tolerating it. Absolutely not. I think that these people, it's really funny because they say, you know, oh, the men should just trust me. So she said she's going to do it no matter what, essentially, because she has to go out there and get attention from men, right? She can't, she would rather potentially sacrifice her relationship just so she can go out there and get men giving her attention. And she's probably cheating on this guy. Let's straight up be honest about this. But notice how it's always like the men need to put in trust. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the trust is already broken. If your woman is out here in the middle of, you know, nighttime, going out, partying, drinking, wearing like, you know, nonsense like this, okay, she's already gone. She's already broken the trust. Okay, at what point do we decide that the trust is broken? When she's in some other dude's bed? No. This is already embarrassing enough for me, guys. This is... You can't be with a woman like this, at least in my opinion, even from just an embarrassment standpoint. I don't want to date a woman like this because it's embarrassing. And look at her friend smiling at the camera. So she basically gave her boyfriend an ultimatum. She's like, I'm doing this. This is my way. It's my way or the highway. I'm going to have attention from random men, and there's nothing you can do about it. Disgusting, man.
You know, how you are.
So it feels like a little bit of a pointed question, but he trusts me and I trust him.
Yeah, right. So notice how she's like, I feel attacked by this question. Sorry, don't care. Okay, but notice how she's pointing herself as a victim, because if you do anything to question women's behavior, particularly this kind of behavior in modern day society, you'll just get shamed through the ground, right? Any sort of shaming language. You're attacking me. You're an insecure man. You've got trust issues. No, madam, the trust has already been broken when you're doing nonsense like this.
So...
Did you guys ever have a conversation beforehand?
Yes, no.
What'd you guys discuss?
It was more of like a, I'm going to do this, but I trust your input, so I'm going to let you know. But in the end of the day, it's like we are our own people, so I'm going to do what I think is best for myself and for our relationship.
So there wasn't even a discussion, right? The key takeaway there is that this woman didn't even discuss it, really. She just told the man that this is what she's going to do.
People will sexualize you for what you look like when you have a certain body type, no matter what you wear. So you might as well own it. You might as well be confident about yourself. But it doesn't necessarily convey that you're on the market or that you're looking for a guy. It's just you having fun with your girls, so...
Yeah, guys, don't worry. She's just having fun with her girls. She does this for herself. The only reason she looks questionable right now is because of her body type, right? All of this deflecting accountability. We are here to get attention from random strangers who are not our boyfriend. Point blank, period, end of story. Guys, please do not believe this nonsense that women try and tell men. It is absolutely disgusting to me. I don't mind what people do with their lives, okay? Go out there, make your decisions, blah, blah, blah. Do whatever it is that you'd like to do. If you want to make stupid decisions, if you want to be like, for example, someone like Destiny, and you want to marry someone but have an open marriage, I think that that is disgusting and deplorable, but I can't stop you from doing it, okay? But these women are just, why on earth would you ever date them. It cannot be done.
That you're on the market or that you're looking for a guy. It's just you having fun with your girls. So
Based on how she's
Yeah, but the one thing I dislike, I kind of lost track of my point there, but the one thing I really dislike about this is that we have to lie about the decisions that we're making, right? We're not going out to get attention from random men. We're not going out there to scout for people to cheat on our boyfriend with, or, you know, whatever. We're just out here having fun with the girls. Like, cut the crap, man. If you want to be single and get with a whole bunch of dudes, knock yourself out. I'm sure the dudes will appreciate it. Okay? You're an absolute empowered queen. Good job. Continue, right? But I just don't like the dishonesty where we have to lie to men about what this is. Because there are so many guys, I think a lot of guys who, you know, go through their early relationships, they hear stuff like this and they want to believe it, so they do, and then they get cheated on like 500 times. I think this is a pretty common experience for most men, where they've at least been women who have attempted to lie to them in this particular way.
for a guy, it's just you having fun with your girls. So
based on how she's dressed, do you think that she's single or in a relationship?
Oh, single, for sure.
You see, this right here is a snapshot of modern dating, a perfect storm of mixed signals, misplaced priorities, and blind delusion. Ladies, can we just take a second and be real? You're going out wearing clothes that leave next to nothing to the imagination, and then you're puzzled why men don't trust or value such behavior in a committed relationship. Newsflash, it's not rocket science. The way this woman talks about the conversation she had with her boyfriend doesn't sound like a healthy discussion.
Look at this. Look at her friend on the side here, by the way. Like, she can tell. Look, she knows what she's saying is nonsense, by the way. All these girls, I swear to you, it's like a hive mind. You know, they're all in on the joke, right? We're going to lie to our boyfriends. We're going to lie to our husbands. We're going to go out here and get attention from men. She knows. This woman on the left, I can sense it, guys. She knows that this is absolute bullcrap what this woman on the right is saying. But she's just going to continue.
More like she just railroaded him, telling him how things would be. And while individuality is important in a relationship, respect and consideration for your partner's feelings should never be disregarded. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, you can wear whatever you want. Sure, it's your body. However, consider the implications. When you're in a relationship, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing both of you. What you do reflects on your partner, and vice versa. Going out dressed to garner every wandering eye isn't really about empowerment or self-expression. It's a desperate cry for attention, validation, and a brazen display of how little you value the bond with your partner.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, I don't know how men have girlfriends like this, and they just don't feel embarrassed. Okay, this is someone who says, listen, I'm going to do what I think is best for the relationship, and her opinion of what's best for the relationship is going out, getting intoxicated, and dressing up for random dudes that she doesn't even know the name of, right? And these are the same people who wonder why men don't value them, you know? And these are the same people that treat themselves like objects, complain when they get treated like objects. It's absolutely hilarious. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there's a support option over there as well. But otherwise, it's totally free to join. But otherwise, I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.